Sometimes, before the biggest breakthroughs of our lives, everything feels a little strange. Not chaotic, not calm, just off. As if the world you've been walking through doesn't quite fit anymore, and something beneath the surface is shifting in ways you can't explain. The conversations around you start to sound hollow. The routines that used to comfort you feel flat. Even the ambitions that once fueled you suddenly taste stale, like chewing gum that's lost its flavor. And if you're in this space right now, it can feel unsettling. The mind panics because it's been taught that progress always looks like action, constant movement, constant effort. But here's the truth most people miss. This stillness you're feeling, this strangeness, is not failure. It's not apathy. It's recalibration. In quantum physics, before a particle jumps to a higher state, it enters a period of uncertainty. Scientists call this superposition, a moment where all possible outcomes exist at once, suspended, waiting for collapse into reality. It's not a pause, it's the most dynamic state imaginable. Every possibility lives here, and that's where you are right now, not stuck, not broken, but suspended between who you were and who you're becoming. Some traditions call this the void. Mystics describe it as fertile darkness, the womb of creation before the light arrives. At this stage, the tools that used to guide you may stop working. The routines, the old beliefs, even your own drive, it all feels distant because those belong to the identity you're shedding. Your work now isn't to force or scramble. It's to breathe, to trust, to let the silence reorganize you. The stillness is not empty. It's full of information, full of the blueprint for your next chapter. Even neuroscience backs this. Studies on neuroplasticity show the brain needs downtime to rewire itself for new patterns. When you're stepping into a new frequency, your nervous system is recalibrating. Your body is learning a new baseline. And just like in music, before the symphony begins, there's silence. The lights dim, the air grows heavy, the audience waits. That silence isn't wasted time. It's the very preparation for the masterpiece. Or picture a bow drawn back before an arrow flies. The tension isn't delay. It's power waiting to be released. Right now, the universe is pulling you back, not to hold you down, but to launch you forward. Here's the danger. Most people misinterpret this phase. They mistake stillness for stagnation. They panic and scramble to fill the void with old habits and low-energy distractions. And in doing so, they sabotage the jump. Because the longer you resist the quiet, the longer you remain suspended between timelines. The ones who leap are the ones who learn to lean into the silence. They see the pause as proof of progress. And when you shift perspective like that, you start noticing signals everywhere. A chance conversation that sparks insight, an unexpected release of emotion, a sudden clarity about something that's confused you for months. These aren't coincidences. They're subtle realignments. The field adjusting itself around you, bringing you into coherence with your next reality. As the shift deepens, you'll notice another phase. Relationships, work, even your inner dialogue begin to feel misaligned. The things that once fit you start feeling tight, like old clothes you've outgrown. In physics, this is called decoherence, when two systems no longer vibrate in harmony. Your inner state is accelerating, but your outer world is still running on old frequency. And that mismatch? That's the tension you feel. It's not punishment. It's a signal. Think of trying to run brand new software on outdated hardware. The glitches, the lag, the crash. It's not a failure. It's proof that an upgrade is required. Spiritually, this mismatch is when many people doubt themselves most. Why does it feel like I am falling apart when I am supposed to be leveling up? But you're not falling apart. You're falling out of alignment with an old timeline. Imagine standing with one foot in each of two boats drifting in opposite directions. Eventually, you'll have to choose one, and the one that matches your new frequency will always feel like relief, even if it asks you to leave the familiar behind. The mind, terrified of uncertainty, will urge you to fix what's breaking, patch what's crumbling, restore what's fading. But restoration of the old is a step backward. What feels like breakdown is actually breakthrough. The shedding of density, beliefs, and identities that can't travel with you to the new timeline. And here's the paradox. The more you scramble to save what's leaving, the longer the jump delays. The more you allow it to dissolve, the faster your leap accelerates. Physics has a metaphor for this too. When an electron jumps to a higher orbital, it must absorb a precise amount of energy. No more, no less. Once it hits that threshold, it transitions instantly, no in between, no hesitation, just pure shift. And the same is true for you. Your jump happens the moment your frequency matches the reality you're moving into. Not when you force, not when you hustle, but when you allow the old to fully release so the new can lock in. Right before a breakthrough, emotions tend to amplify. One moment you're buzzing with excitement, the next, doubt creeps in and whispers that maybe you're imagining it all. This isn't moodiness, it's the signature of a system in transition. Your higher self is pulling you forward, but your subconscious clings to the old blueprint. You flicker between timelines, the old one you've been living and the new one you re-stepping into. Your emotions are simply the flicker. Think of turbulence on a plane. It doesn't mean you're not flying. It means you're moving through layers of atmosphere that require adjustment. The faster you learn to ride the currents instead of gripping the seat in panic, the smoother the journey becomes. Here's the key. Don't label emotions as good or bad. See them as currents of energy passing through your field. Joy, fear, doubt, excitement, they're not obstacles. They're indicators. If you resist them, you amplify the oscillation. If you observe them, you stabilize your signal toward the reality you want. And then comes the final test. Old challenges resurface, money panic, relationship triggers, familiar fears knocking one last time, not as punishment but as mirrors. They're the remnants of your old identity asking if you'll choose them again. Every time you choose differently, you collapse the old probability wave and reinforce the new one. This is why the final stretch feels so charged. You're standing at the threshold, asked only to embody the frequency you've been cultivating. Most people think, if I'm still facing these old patterns, I must be failing. But the very appearance of these challenges is proof you be shifted enough for them to be flushed out. And when you choose differently, you're not imagining your new reality. You're living it, right there, right then. And here's the twist. The arrival is quiet. One day you just notice, the fear is gone. The old trigger doesn't move you. The problem feels irrelevant. The leap rarely comes with fireworks. It comes as a natural state. Integration, coherence, your new baseline. And if you've made it this far, you already know you're walking the bridge. That is why I created the Quantum Bridge, a field guide to the 7 keys of reality creation, complete with bonus journal templates. It's designed for this exact stage, not to give you theories, but to help you stabilize, embody, and expand the new reality you've already stepped into. If this resonates, the timing is no accident. You're ready. So here's what I want you to do. Comment below with, I am ready to cross the bridge. That single declaration signals to your subconscious that the old chapter is closing. And if this video spoke to you, share it with one person you care about. Because right now, someone you know is going through the void or the test, and they need to hear this reminder. The leap has already begun.